Hello, fellow faithful. It is Bulldog here, world's greatest silver analyst, back with more analysis of Counter-Logic Gaming. We're here for Game 13, Week 5, Day 1 versus Immortals. We have the full roster together for... This is the second week that they've been completely together. From what Broxa said on the stream the other night, sounded like the team is starting to put things together. The end of the Dignitas game, things started to click, so let's hope things are on the up and up. I am watching the VOD, so it starts into Champion Select a little late. I guess we didn't want them to first pick Rel, but I don't quite get us not leaving it up. But also really weird that they banned Thresh, because we haven't really played it. But Lilia, Brox has been playing pretty much nothing but carry junglers in solo queue, so I imagine he's going to stick with those. The Callista, I don't know how good it is. I think it's alright. I don't have any problems with it. So they have the pony. We could just grab our support, or we could pick a lane that we want and then ban out some of the matchups we don't like for it. So we have options here. The Lucian, okay. The Tristana is kind of a flex pick for them.
When you see Tristana, you assume it's mid and you counter-pick Lucian. And then maybe now IMT are forced to swap it down the bottom lane.
By the way, I got water and ice cold. Diet Dr. Pepper with me. Gotta stay hydrated. So this is a very, very aggressive early game focused comp. It looks like. So I wouldn't be surprised if we locked in a Renekton here.
I think if Immortal starts banning away these tanky supports, it's gonna be a lot harder.
Yeah, the Azir ban is generally good. I like that we are not picking it, because Cold Belter has been atrocious on it. The Kled, yeah, that's a good ban against us, because Finn is just very, very good at League of Legends, and Kled is one of his unique champion picks. And the Victor. So removing some of the best scaling options in the mid lane, you can have things like the Orianna are still available, so could even go Karma mid lane.
He has been good on a variety of champions here, but again, leaving open the door that Raze might be playing the Trist here, which almost says to me that maybe they just want Lucian because it's good. If they're already banning away mid laners here, although also insulating a Lucian mid pick that you've already taken early. Nautilus is
Yep, I do like the Nautilus. It's a fairly strong early pick and pretty good engage. I would like something similar in the top lane as well. But so it wouldn't. I know LS hates the B5 Renekton, but we're red side, so Syndra. I don't really like that into the Lucian a whole lot. I think he gets to bully you out a little bit early on, and the Syndra has not been winning a whole lot, so I don't think that's too good a pick. Okay, so the Renekton. I mean, Gangplank is one of the best picks into it. They banned out the Gnar. Oh, it has a 79% win rate. That's insane.
pick. There are tanks.
Scion. I like Scion a lot.
Maybe on the table, Scion also completely forgot seen it today already. But certainly
Big, beefy, hard scaling frontliner. Lucian scales a lot better than he used to
top lane, so it is gonna be
because
Scion
his
versus
second and third items are just way better on him. He can go the full crit, the Essence Reaver into quick blades, and just be able to cycle spells so quickly.
Long range ADs in the mid lane because Belcher in particular didn't have the best return into the LCS. Slowly
So,
getting better, but here
overall, I like our draft
very dominant, not just in
better
but playing team fights really well. So if his Lucian is
because we have been a strong early game team, and if we can push that advantage that we will get because we pick stronger lanes,
bottom lane, because Total was so eager to pick
then
Rista, and
we
Rista
can
has been
snowball this game in our favor.
of the IMT hot and cold nation.
And Immortal didn't really pick like hard scaling champions in response or anything.
I don't think I have ever
They also went pretty hard early mid game champions as well. Tristana scales like extremely well.
very defensive, looking to heal and kite back in these team fights, but that shouldn't be
But
a big deal to IMT's laning phase. With the
other than that,
I think they're gonna have
they
a
didn't
grand old time here. It's just gonna be about team fighting here for us.
they didn't pick anything that will really
Yeah, perhaps play ancient matchup
counter
which has paid
what
off.
should be our early game dominance.
Total and Smoothie know that like this isn't a good matchup necessarily. Also, like you've got the likes of Hecarim and Renekton wanting to dive you later on.
So nothing fancy, level 1, just simple like 5-point.
Pretty good against Callista, but Destiny definitely opting for the ignite here.
And Callista grabbing the early sweeper is very good because you do get the W for the extra vision, so taking advantage of that utility to take the opportunity to deny some vision.
Again, it's kind of the story of IMT as a whole, but being good enough here for decent amount of wins. As IMT are going to have Xerxes.
Immortals has 7 wins?
It's going to be a little late to bottom lane here for Raze and Destiny, but shouldn't be
What?
They had everybody waiting in that brush because so many games, if you remember in Worlds, that Lilia would just be invading.
How did they manage that?
Camp. Hecarim can start that route.
That just feels wrong.
For Lilia to go for it. And look at that. Broxa
Finn is
also
actually
big kill.
bullying
It's going
bullying
to
out
be
Revenge here pretty early.
again,
And Broxa with an
I wonder if IMT
early jungle invade.
going on because
And I don't
really
think
good for CLG. Actually,
Immortals has any idea this is happening right now.
path to the blues that he would just waste all his time. Gotta see where Xerxes' path is. Do you suspect that you are being invaded, my friend?
So this is really, really good from Broxa.
Walking in and taking everything. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on Xerxes as he's full clearing his red side to start things off. Also, Revenge and Finn are currently fighting here on the top side. Revenge with a giant shield, actually. Finn there looking to push the lane in with that corrupting potion and maybe try and get some stuff done early. Broxa does successfully
Yeah.
take the blue, and Xerxes
Really good by Broxa. He's gonna 3-buff him.
But at least he has his consolation grump. But now I gotta see where Broxa path is because he can do his red side.
Ooh,
Path back to
good
the
early
side, and then
trade
go back
by
around
Smoothie and
to
Turtle.
It's just
They've
such
been
a
kind of
good
smurfing
to
bot
go with
lane.
this champion because she's so difficult to pick. And if you saw what CLG's mid and bottom did,
That was just a super good call. And our lanes did a good job of getting advantage to make sure that Broxa was safe. Overall, well executed play to give us a nice advantage in the jungle.
Was when they lost the early game. It was a brutal early game deficit. Now they're back to the winning ways, and we worry if this is just too much of an advantage for them. They need to be at a deficit to know how to win.
I mean, they've still got every first blood in all their games, right? So, you know, they're used to getting at least some early game leads. You know, maybe this is just enough. Doesn't have to be too far from here on out as Broxa.
But Broxa still has a full quadrant of his jungle that he can clear, which is really nice.
Doesn't have a whole lot else to do. Ooh, this is so clever from Broxa. He's waiting on the respawn and now going to get in onto Xerxes. In fact, maybe was just waiting for the camp.
This isn't great because Pobelter can't rotate over first.
Xerxes doing a little bit of counter jungling of his own. Will successfully take the Raptors, but here's POB and Insanity facing off, but not a whole lot they can really do. So Broxa,
Yeah, you didn't have the proper lane states to go for that play. You wasted a decent amount of time as Broxa, just trying to kind of cheese something when you could have just been clearing camps on the bottom side and getting an advantage there.
Unfortunately, Pobelcher can't shove quickly enough against Insanity, so he'll just stabilize the matchup now. I think Xerxes totally fine now. He's already going for the second spawn of Raptors. It's going to be the second clear of Raptors. Remember, he got the second spawn of CLG side and now his own with the Krugs as well, while Brox is still clearing the first rotation.
Broxa will have a 1 camp advantage, but
despite Brox being somewhat assertive in the early game, I think IMT recovered very nicely.
Yeah, I mean, Brox is like, again, gonna take it. Like, his third big buff of the game.
so it's still a pretty nice advantage for us, especially since he'll have the buff advantage. What is Revenge doing? Just taking that. Yeah, but it's Renekton. Renekton is going to get a decent CS advantage in pretty much every lane. But Sion is just better for less, like a better champion for lower utility.
Not looking away right now, though. I think the farm is going to be pretty much equal, only behind the wave now as they take this recall.
And Finn is just like stacking health with all of the grasp procs he's been getting.
Spicy early, you know, Crumbs maybe taking your advice. I wanted to get the early game too charged up and lose sight of the mid to late game where things have fallen apart.
That could be a little dangerous, but Broxa is topside to help him out, so he knows that the dive isn't coming. That's a nice trade by Pobelter. Gets level 6 there. I think he's aware that Destiny is roaming somewhere on the map, so he's playing it pretty safe, sacrificing a couple of CS, but that's perfectly fine. And Turtle has a nice little CS lead. Broxa has a nice CS lead. Pobelter's a little bit ahead, but not much. And Finn's a decent amount behind, but that's perfectly fine as Sion. And Broxa getting a nice dragon here. I love how Revenge like dumped all of his cooldowns, and before he ultied, it was an even trade. Wow, Finn. Solo kill. He's so good.
Oh, I guess he thought he didn't have enough mana. He was base and you could just let him base. You could do so much here. Oh man, just Finn saw. He's like, alright, I can bait this guy in. I got my
Finn is so good at League of Legends.
He really fell for it. You hate to see it. All that CS, all for nothing.
Well, TV back for Finn here as well.
And we got Dragon. Kill topside. Just really good, all in all. We do have the ability to all in here with the Callista 6. So this could be really good for us. I don't know if we have vision of Hecarim, or if we know where he is. But as soon as we do, then we can just kind of go in on them. Oh. Oh, wow. That was a nasty hook.
Oh, you gotta walk with them creeps. You gotta make sure that the creeps are always blocking you. And CLG found the angle. I like that smoothie.
And Finn just has a big advantage top lane now. The Bramble Vest will do a ton of work. He has a bunch of health. And Renekton is going tankier with the steel caps, so it's generally going to go in the favor of Finn now. Even though this should be a Renekton favored matchup. And Turtle with a huge CS lead. And Broxa just taking most of the neutral objectives. He hasn't really like generated too much of an advantage besides like the triple buff that he did. Yeah, that was a good flash to keep himself alive. That was the Revenge ultimate, so It's not the worst trade in the world, and then we do just get Rift Herald out of it. So
And we see how
it's, if we get a good, like, as long as we get the tower plates out of it, it's definitely in our favor.
This is a really nice move from CLG.
But dang, Turtle is just so far ahead.
To continue to build advantages. So they know how to play the early game for sure.
And Pobelter has a nice little CS lead for himself. Yeah.
Pobelter is now on the top side, and the Renekton,
We're just sitting well.
the Scion is in the bottom lane. So as a result of the swap, Pobelter gets some extra gold on plates.
Yeah, really nice.
And interesting lane assignments here.
Probably gonna push this wave in as well. Yeah, should have more than enough time here.
I'm not sure the reasoning behind it,
So Ray's gonna be the one to
but
capture
it's
that
doing,
top side. In fact, we're gonna have
it's generating us some good advantages here.
going in for more.
Because the Immortals just doesn't know what to do about it.
Only one, like it's just Rays. He doesn't know that, but gonna get the plate before it even really matters, and that's a.
Because that's just a bunch of gold for free.
It really
Wish
is.
my team would do that for me.
Well, if you won a LCS title, I think they would have considered it. I don't get any of that help either, so we're in the same boat here, Pastry.
It's just funny.
We have a nice little 1,000 gold lead, which is around what you would have hoped for with the comp, and we just outdrafted to start with.
But not a thing anymore. So Pobelter getting the royal treatment, getting some plates soon. In fact, he's sticking up here. He's the bot laner now.
And he's by himself, but there's a lot of people here in the river. Raze isn't here farming, though. He'll have to go back to the lane, so he can't stick around for too long. Not sure what CLG hopes to attempt here, though.
Yeah, there isn't really much of a neutral objective.
And the dragon is spawning in 30
So I'm not sure why we are like having so many bodies up here. Like Dragon is spawning in 20 seconds. We maybe want to make a move for that, especially since they have two topside.
Finn's 2 levels ahead of Revenge. 2.
And Finn is just bodying Revenge. Oh, are we just gonna go for first tower?
Be a full commitment to the top side with the Herald here in top lane.
Alright, so they're just gonna go for plate gold. They want to get ahead when it comes to the gold. They don't care about the dragon right now. Just keep getting these advantages.
We're just getting ourselves a
That advantage, though, in the bottom
really
lane,
nice lead.
which was the top before, was just Revenge. But they're going up the belt.
Destiny's
He's
in.
hurt treads.
And they just spent
Mid lanes. Insanity.
a ton
Get killed by Wild.
for that. And Finn making a huge play,
Flashes forward.
getting Turtle even more gold, and we're just comfortably snowballing this game.
That one.
Winning lanes, winning jungle matchup. They have just been crushing this early, and IMT does not know how to find their way back into this game. It's not through Renekton against Scion, I'll tell you that. The Scion is a great pick into this high physical damage composition, especially when you're dealing with a mid laner that isn't DPS. She's burst, so with the high HP that Scion's passive gives him, you won't even need to itemize magic resistance until very late into the game, if at all. He'll be able to just survive most of IMT, and that allows him to not only
Finn is still a level ahead. He's evened up the CS. Jungle has evened up the CS. Both mid and bot have grown their CS leads. We're just doing a good job of gaining our advantages. We're pushing vision lines and pressuring objectives. This is just a really clean game so far.
Up in Revenge's face once again, applying pressure despite the steel caps being done for Renekton. Pobelter feeling more than confident enough in that 1v1, despite not having a completed item yet. It looks like Gale Force is going to be the selection here. Kick it off, Xerxes though, much more of a threat here. But 2v2 is going to break up. Broxo is here ready to go, but the IMT has already gone in. Revenge going to get that kill off the ulti out of Hecarim. And now Broxo looking low, but does put a few to sleep. Now going to get the
Broxo with the really nice ulti to set up the engage from Smithy and Finn. And setting Turtle up to get yet another kill. And continuing to snowball. Nice little 1 for 2. We should be able to get Dragon out of it.
2 for 1 on the side of CLG, and they get to push out the waves. It's only topside that's actually losing something, and Insanity with the teleport just had nowhere to go on this. You're not going to TP into the turret to try to make it to this silly fight. They catch Pobelter out, but they lose so much for it. sure what Pobelter is doing walking into this side. Really, you were taking the dragon here, and you don't have any pressure. So he gives IMT an opportunity to go for this. He would have liked to see it turn into
We had a really good response by Finn there.
But because CLG just had so many members, and there wasn't any good wards for the Syndra to TP immediately, they come out with a numbers advantage and win the fight.
And holy cow, he's finished his mythic already. He is scary. Finn is so good, dude. It's the best signing we have made in a long time.
Figure they've got enough control, they can take it at their leisure. No one is rushing off to collect the Cloud Drake crumbs. It's a very sad day.
Yeah, okay, they should have definitely taken that objective. We gotta see though, because it always struggles without the pro view to know exactly what happened when the replay comes up. Like, all right, what happened with the objective? Kalista was remaining there, but now she has a shield bow. They definitely should be fighting around this. Don't want to see this objective linger any longer, because you're gonna look at the late game and wonder why IMT does not feel pressure to base check you or feel like they're on the clock. Well, it's because the dragons were not stacked this early. Broxy will do blue side. And
yeah, well, we're getting our waves in the state to be able to go for the dragon. We're doing our proper prep work beforehand, so we don't just get dunked on. And, I mean, Finn is so tanky already. Like, what do you do against that Scion who has 143 armor and over 2,000 health at this point?
It's the classic early game versus outscale champion. Once you fall behind, the outscale becomes too real. Look at what Finn is doing to Revenge. And no
God, that's so gross.
If the Hecarim were to be there, the teleports would come out, and he would survive long enough to make sure that they fall for him.
Good hook by Smoothie to get out. The Rays just used everything. Well, I mean, he didn't use ulti, but he used all of his burst to get that. And it does force Smoothie out and relieve some of the tower pressure, but it doesn't do all that much. And Finn is just so powerful. Oh. He just is proxy farming him, which is so gross.
I'm loving the confidence that I'm seeing out of the play from players like Finn, Alfari, and Perks here. Just showing up to the LCS and just knowing their limits. Really
Pobelter is,
so
like, even in CS now.
This aggressive, and it looks like BM because it kind of is, because no one can really touch him. So this is just a refreshing thing. The only added bonus you'd want to see is a bit of an emote game.
I don't know if the Kraken Slayer is the right call in Lucian here.
Is a huge deal in League of Legends. Being able to tilt your opponent goes a long, long ways, especially once we start getting to these high games that actually.
It's still good. Like, it interacts with his kit really well. But against their team comp, it's not terribly tanky, so it's not going to do a whole lot for you. And we're just pressuring. We're just doing a good job of pressuring towers pretty consistently on multiple points, responding to where they don't have numbers and putting our numbers there. Our lane assignments have been really, really on point. And now we can start to, since we got both those towers, we can move in, start to lay vision down in their jungle and slowly take that over.
But I don't believe it. I will not believe it until I see the Nexus fall on the side.
I mean, that's smart by Grums to not believe it.
Enough wombo to punish you if you overstep. Just fall apart in the blink of an eye. We already saw game one today how clean it was in the beginning for TSM, and then bam, the game was over. So CLG have to be thinking that they have to remain methodical. Yet on the side of IMT,
but Finn is so strong that there's very little Immortals will be able to do to respond to him. Because he's gonna, once he completes his Thornmail, he's gonna be around 3k health. And that just leaves him well out of Syndra range. And, like, well out of Syndra burst range. And they're just going to have to focus fire him super hard if they ever want to kill him. And he's such a nuisance because he can just stun your entire team. And he wins in this side lane that it's just too much to realistically be able to deal with.
If CLG are looking to stack up these dragons, Spin's doing a great job of giving them priority in that side of the map. And now Destiny going to have to dodge the swell seeds because one sleep could mean death, or at least you having to use your ultimate there and trade off for the Lilius. And Smoothie maybe even thinking about a wraparound play. In fact, Pobelta's roaming down to gank now.
But look at where the Hecarim is. Hecarim is
Well, it's not a gank. It's just taking a tower for free.
They're just letting CLG win the game.
This is super good macro.
Because it feels like that's what's going on.
It's a good hook. Destiny going to get pressured. Razor the target. There's the Sion ulti. Over the top goes Fate's call in to take
The macro is on point. Holy cow.
There's a great scatter there from Insanity. Is going to get the ulti kill onto the Nautilus, but Revenge will live off of Lucian's ulti.
Smoothie goes down, but we still got 2. We're about to get 3. And we got a tower. We're about to get a second tower.
This map just belongs to them, and IMT
There's just absolutely nothing IMT can do about it.
teleports, but Hecarim has
Unless we make a huge blunder. The Finn getting that solo kill was the point where we won the game. Because their primary point of pressure was the Renekton. That's where they expected to have the advantage and be able to play around. And that just went out the window. And so suddenly they didn't have any point they could really play around. And they were set on the back foot the entire time. And CLG has just been clean
only now
with their shot calling and their coordination.
gets a kill in return.
And getting a third dragon already. We'll be threatening the Ocean Soul very soon. We can threaten Baron.
Yeah, I mean, one-way trip there for Insanity on that TP.
We can just choke Immortals out of any resources. And I didn't think Immortals had 7 wins. That was a misprint. They have 5. That makes far more sense than them having 7 wins, because this roster could peak at 500, how they are right now.
CLG have just been so good, and this is just not the mid game we've seen from CLG, right? Like they've planned to clearly use.
It's almost like once we have a consistent roster for a couple of weeks, things start to clean up.
Done it really well, like
Especially with how many veterans we have.
Getting an edge, you know, as Sion in this matchup, but like he is constantly a threat in a side lane here, constantly applying pressure, and is also able to convert using his ultimate to roam to the plays that CLG are calling as well. So IMT just at a point where, like, what do you do? Like, picking off a side laner feels just as bad as going for, you know, a more focused fight in, say, mid lane, because it just doesn't feel like either is going to work. Because Finn is going to be there, or Pobelta is going to get away, and you'll lose something else.
Oh my god, Finn has 3,500 health.
The advantage they have so well. If you honestly told me
You can't kill that man.
I might have believed you, because CLG are kind of in Team Liquid's footsteps from their last game.
It's like 200 armor, 100 magic resist, and 3,500 health.
You know, I can share that sentiment too, because the thing that they're doing is they're not making any plays that seem like these actually.
Like, Tristana is really the only person that'll do any damage to him, and that's just with the Kraken Slayer procs. Pobelter with the special ultimate, it didn't matter because we had so much priority before that. That him just firing at air and hitting the zoning ult is all we really needed.
I mean, like, when you take a Baron like that, like, there are very few free Barons in League of Legends, and that one's the culmination of all the work CLG did to get to that point. But for IMT to not even be able to walk up and try to steal it is a testament to how much of an advantage and how much control CLG have exerted in this game.
They don't have even the champions to.
This is just really well played.
Put their body in first. The Alistar
I'm
going, the Hecarim, if he gets forced to use the
a little surprised by how just clean this is. The only real mistake has been Pobelter face checking that brush bot lane, but Finn's TP made up for the mistake.
IMT's not putting up much of a fight, but this is clean.
And it ended up turning it into an advantage for us.
And it's something that is so
I mean,
new to us.
we outdrafted hard, we outlaned hard, like,
Clearly paying off, because this is such a different look from where they started at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, Looking good
This
so
is
far.
super
Present this
good.
game as they assault the tier 2 and
I mean, you
tier
can put as much damage down as you want on Finn.
IMT still trying
It's
to get
just
some objectives
not
in
gonna
hands. Finn
move
is
his
like
health bar.
dancing and emoting as the rest of his team kills the tower in top lane. But Sion is just so tanky at this point. CLG leaning on their 8,000 gold lead, looking to stack that up even further. As Revenge gets spotted by Callista Sentinel, and Brock's just busy guiding the Baron dot cannon in towards mid lane, because CLG happy to push 2 lanes here. And again, when it's all said and done, they'll just back off to the soul and take that as well. Ooh, play here instead though, looking 4 people in mid, but Brock's very disciplined, flashes away instantly.
Very good job of playing safe and not letting them get little advantages. And we just keep taking what they give us, which is just a bunch of numbers advantages in side lanes. Turtle with the quadra, and we should just be able to walk in and finish the game off. That was a disgustingly good and clean game.
CLG could actually make the miracle run.
Alright, dive the fountain. You know what to do, CLG. It's worth it. Finn's in there. He's dead. And the next is dead. And now it's going to give it to you, Turtle. Take it. It's yours, mate.
The Penta. Wow. The super, super late Penta, but I'll take it. That was a super clean game. And this roster is like turning into what I could have hoped it could be. I am excited to watch more. I think it's Saturday right now, and I think I might have another game I can watch. I don't know for sure, but I'm pogged. Very good game, boys. Finn just hard carrying us in like laning phase, getting advantages he shouldn't be able to. You can see Tafa in the background there. All of his blood, sweat, and tears starting to pay off here. So, very good game, and I hope to see more of it, and hopefully the miracle run can happen. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff, and I will see you guys in the next game.